Hello and welcome back to Jules Math Tools. In our session today, we are solving a two-step equation when we're using the distributive property rule. So if you are excited as I am to see how this is done, let's get started. So we are solving a two-step equation when we are using the distributive property. And when using the distributive property, this simply means that whatever number, term, or variable that we have outside the parentheses is going to be multiplied to everything inside the parentheses. So that means that my 3 will be multiplied to k, and my 3 will also be multiplied to my 2. So I'm going to work this out right on the side and then plug this back into my equation. And remember that if you know how to apply the distributive property, you do not have to work this out on the side. You can simply just skip the steps and move straight into solving your equation. But again, we are working for the students who may not know how to solve or how to apply this rule so that everyone will be able to follow along. So we have 3 being multiplied to k, and then that will be subtracted from our 3 being multiplied to 2. And we know that 3 times k will equal to 3k, and 3 times 2 will be equal to 6. So now that we have simplified our parentheses, let's move this back into our equation. And we're now going to begin applying our two-step rules for solving this type of equation. So let's begin by collecting our like terms. And since 6 and 15 are both constants, that means I'm going to be grouping those two terms together. So I return my 3k, put back my 15, and now I'm going to look at my 6. 6 is being subtracted here, so that means that we are adding 6 on the opposite side of our equation. So now let's simplify. We're going to return our 3k. 15 plus 6 will equal to 21. And now we will begin applying our second two-step rule, or our second step in our two-step equation, which is our division. I remember that in dividing, we're dividing both sides of our equation by our coefficient, which is 3. So whatever number is being multiplied to your variable is the number that you will divide both sides of your equation by. So remember that we're not fishing for numbers when we're doing our division. We're looking to see what number is being multiplied to our variable, and that number is what we divide both sides of the equation by. So let's begin our division. So we will be dividing 3 into 3, which will equal to 1. So that means that we have 1k, which is the same thing as just writing k. And now we're going to be dividing our 3 into 21, which will equal to 7. So for this equation, we see that our k is equal to 7. Okay, so we will be replacing 7 for k everywhere that it appears in our equation. And remember that there are more than one way so we can check this answer, and I will show you both ways. We're going to use the distributive property rule first. And the distributive property tells me to multiply 3 to 7 and also 3 to 2. So 3 times 7 will equal to 21. And then 3 times 2 is equal to 6. And when 21 subtracts 6, this is equal to 15. So that will be our first check, which tells us that k equals 7 is the correct answer. And remember that there is another method I will show you as well that you can also remember in future reference when you are working through these type of questions. So I know that for some of you, the first thing that came to your mind may have been using the rule for PEMDAS, where PEMDAS tells us to work out the parentheses first, where 7 will be minusing 2, which will equal to 5. and then we will be multiplying our 3 times 5, which will equal to 15. And again, we get the same number for both sides of our equation, which tells us that k equals 7 is the correct solution for your answer. Okay, so I hope this was helpful to you. Remember that the distributive property is something that you have to practice, and with practice you will get better. And when you're ready to learn a new step on how you can use the distributive property to solve two-step equation, make sure that you return back to Joe's Math Tools, where we aim to make math easy.